Hey guys, welcome on back into the channel. I am Faith, of course, the Divine Faith, and this is going to be another natal chart or astrology, maybe not really natal chart, but this is going to be another astrology reading when it pertains to the composite chart of Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Now, I haven't put both of their informations into the system to get us the full chart, but I do have their individual charts already pulled up. So as you can see on my screen, the first chart I have up is Miley Cyrus. I mean, kind of hard not to know who Miley is. By the way, this has been requested because you guys know I'm only doing these based off of request, unless I'm just having a day and I just decide to do one of these just because. But Miley, of course, we know is a Sagittarius. Okay, that is just for data purposes at this particular point. You guys know I really like paying attention to the day that people are born. Okay, now as you can see, Miley is born on the 23rd. Okay, now if we break down number 23, now outside of that, I believe that the number 23 is a number of, great feats anyway. Okay. I think the number 23 may be somewhat tied to like the energy of Leo or something. I forgot. It's in my, my numerology PDF when it comes to number 23, but it is a good number because think about it, the numbers are ascending. Okay. And they're right behind each other. It's not like she was born on like the 17th, which those numbers are still ascending, but it's a humongous gap in between 1 to 7. Excuse me. Whereas hers, it goes from 2 to 3. Okay. So ascension. And we couldn't even possibly say, I mean, look, 2 is moon, right? And 3 is, what is that? 3 is Jupiter. Okay, so already with Moon, Jupiter combined, a lot of luck possibly tied to public, more specifically when it pertains to women, but she has that look behind her. Remember I talked about before when it comes to Moon, Jupiter, or Jupiter midhaven aspects, you could just have luck when it pertains to the general public, when it pertains to public, period. It may possibly feel like in some sort of manner, things are just being handed to you. Now, things could possibly have been handed or are being handed to Miley. Okay. But it's almost like maybe in some sort of manner, Miley was born under a lucky star. And I'm not just saying it because she has the combination of Moon and Jupiter, but maybe she was literally born under a lucky star. I mean, if she was, what the hell can we do about it? Okay. So with her being born on the 23rd, we break that down to number 5, and we know the number 5 is tied to the energy of, what is it? Mercury. Okay. Now, of course, in my astrology and numerology guide, the number 5 is also tied to, as you can see right here, Taurus. So we have movement, we have self-expression. And as you guys can see, these eras that she goes through, a lot of it has to deal with this 5 Taurian energy. And it's odd because with her going through these multiple different eras where she's trying to find herself, honestly, because this is her idea of self-expression. I have to express myself even if I look like an idiot because I'm trying to find myself. She still somehow, some way finds a way to get money from this. Whereas if you or me were to do it, everybody's just going to be like, well, they're out again. What's going on? But for her, it's almost like it's okay, and we're gonna give you money for doing this. Okay, we have magnetism, we have adventure, we have commitment, we have versatility. That goes back to me talking about that self-expression. That goes back to me talking about those particular eras that she goes through. She's trying things, and it's not likely that you run across people or a big bulk of people where they get paid just to try things. Even if the people paying them knows it's going to fail, it's almost just like willing to take a chance no matter what, which is crazy. That's why I said in some sort of manner, maybe she's been born kind of like possibly under a lucky star. But the drawback when it comes to this number 5 energy is, stubbornness, of course, because we know it's tied to Taurus. But even outside of that, we have fluctuation, possibly whenever it pertains to, could be emotions. It could be anything. We have restriction. We have a skeptic. Okay. We have insistence, which goes back to me talking about stubbornness. Okay. and it may be in some sort of regard. She may struggle when it comes to trusting people, or it could be maybe people struggle when it comes to what she says, what she communicates. They may find it skeptical. They may possibly be like, I don't know if that's right, or I don't necessarily know if that's true. Not necessarily saying it's a liar, that she's a liar, but there's an energy here where for some reason people question what she says. So for example, if she came out and said, such and such happened to me at 10 or 11, a large majority of people, I feel, will be skeptical of her story. They'll be skeptical of her, bringing up like details from that particular incident. They'll be like, I don't know about that. Okay, so I mean, maybe she feels like this in some type of manner, feeling like that she's always being questioned whenever it pertains to certain things that she says. But this could simply just be something that's being given right back to her that she gives out. She may question a lot of things that people say. She may not trust anybody. So that same energy may be being brought back to her. It's like a mirror in some sort of manner. She's looking in the mirror. Okay. And now, of course, with, restriction, she may even have unhealthy coping habits, to be honest, because this restriction for me, when it comes to her, it goes beyond just not talking. It could be, I mean, I don't know if she's locked herself in a closet before, but it kind of gives me that type of vibe where you lock yourself away in some sort of enclosed space. It's almost like if she has like a secret room or something like that, you can't come in there. You have no way how to get in there, but that can be dangerous to her, because what if you're in trouble? What if somebody really needs to get to you, but you have shut yourself off? You have dove into an unhealthy coping habit or mechanism. Okay. And also here's another thing as well. She changes her mind. Hence the fluctuation, because we know Mercury is what? The intellect. Moon is the mind. She changes her mind too much, and no wonder that would make people skeptical of her. Okay. And a lot of this may come out whenever she's going through these periods of versatility where she's trying to express herself. And here's another thing as well. She doesn't know how to communicate. She may not necessarily be a good communicator. So if you, maybe in a way, if you kind of want to know, I would say the only way you're really going to know what the hell is up with her, you're just going to have to listen, when it pertains to her music. Because I don't think she can do it like an adult, in my opinion. Okay? Because look here, her lessons, don't try to control life. Okay? But that can go into restriction. And the restriction can also go into a manner as well, because we know we have Taurus here, Venus. Don't try to control your lovers by some sort of backhanded tactics. If you're going through these periods of self-expression or whatever, you got to let your partner know as well, or people that love you, what the hell is going on, because how can we help you? And again, like I said, it comes across like a toddler or like a child, but we may have somebody who maybe, didn't get proper teaching on how to communicate whenever there's a problem. Instead, you restrict yourself, you cut yourself off. Okay. You lash out, but not necessarily in like an angry way. You lash out in a way where it's like, who are you? I mean, I hate to use her as an example, but almost the vibes of Britney Spears whenever she shaved her head in the middle of the public. She may not do it in the middle of everybody. It may happen more so whenever she is behind closed doors. But that's why I say she has unhealthy coping habits, I feel like, possibly whenever it pertains to certain things that happen, because and also I do feel like she may not really do well with change, because we have insistence here. Okay. So that could be another thing that brings about this whole restrictive thing that she goes into. So it's either change. Okay. But change can also be tied to change possibly whenever it pertains to, like I said, love. She just has a weird way of communicating, but it gives me that vibe of somebody where they expect you to read their mind. And then when you don't read their mind, here comes the lashing out. So, that's why I say it's kind of like a child, if that makes sense. Okay. But let's take a look back here And where is her Mercury? Her Mercury is in Sagittarius. Would you look at that? Her Mercury is in detriment, because we know Mercury is at home in Gemini as well as Virgo. The opposite street neighbor of Gemini, just look at the chart, just go directly across the street, is Sagittarius. Mercury don't really care about being in Sagittarius's house, because we know Sagittarius is a Jupiter. In some sort of manner, Jupiter can be childlike. I mean, Jupiterian people, heavy Jupiter, they don't really change much. But that could be a bad thing whenever they're not growing up. Hence why we know Mercury likes that intellectual stuff. Mercury likes that type of stuff when it pertains to smarts and stuff like that. And Mercury just don't understand. Mercury can't get behind Sagittarius is possibly think the way that they do things when it pertains to being childish. It's like, no fucking way. I don't like it over here. I mean, it's cool for a second, but it's not. It's almost like, if Mercury was here in Gemini, let's just say Mercury has a parent, and the parent is like, you see all that shit going on in Sagittarius's house? That's not right. That's not right. It could be one of those things. So that makes sense, what I was talking about. And I didn't even look at her Mercury placement before I even started the chart. I pulled it up and I hit play, okay, or I hit record. So she has that in fall in the 7th house of what? Relationships, partnerships. She may not really handle her own business. Okay. She may literally have a mouthpiece, and I'm not saying it in a negative way. I mean, it sounds negative, but I'm not. Like, she may have a mouthpiece in terms of somebody else that has to negotiate, somebody else that has to, get certain things going, because, And we know the 7th house is what? The public, because it's a very open house, It can be your open enemies. Hidden enemies is 12. But open enemies is in the hold on, wait a minute. She may have her Mercury and Scorpio. Okay, so we may have to back up. Okay, Mercury and Scorpio. Either way. Oh, I've talked about, and it's retrograde. So scratch what, I still stand by what I said about Mercury being in Sagittarius, but when it pertains to Miley having her Mercury in Scorpio, I've talked about it before, because Mercury in Scorpio, a very sarcastic, dark humor. We know Scorpio is transformative, right? But with her Mercury being in retrograde, it's like slow to develop in some sort of a manner, unless you really work through this. But even still, her Mercury would be kind of like in the 6th house, almost going into the 7th. So unhealthy communication in some sort of manner. And then there's like this deep voice. Okay. I think she has a deep voice. Can't remember, but because I only say that because Scorpio, for some reason, Scorpio just reminds me of like darkness, but not necessarily in a bad sense. But I don't know, for some reason, it makes you think of like a deep voice. Okay. So I feel like something has been done to her voice. I don't even know if that's possible, but it's possible, maybe. But yeah, like something has been done to her voice. I don't know, to possibly make it deeper or something like that, but maybe it's not really natural. Okay. But anywho, so Mercury, 27th degree of Scorpio. Oh, I'm not going to go deep into her chart because this is supposed to be a composite chart reading. Okay. So I only brought up Miley's birthday to talk about this. So we know again that Miley is born on the 23rd. Okay. Now we have Mercury. Now look at Liam's birthday. Now we know Liam, I don't even remember Liam in anything else but the Hunger Games, to be honest. I can't remember what else he was in. I know he has an older brother who is it Chris? Is that the one? I think so. Thor. Okay. Now I know him. The dude, Thor, Extraction, Lord knows what, but mostly Thor. I think that was pretty much his breakout role. And he's been tied to Marvel ever since. Thor came out early. Okay. So with Liam, you see, okay, he's a Capricorn, whoop-de-doo. But you see he was born on the 4th. So, he is embodying that sun energy, but I'm only bringing this up because look, this is how I break this down. Miley is born on the 23rd, Mercury energy, Mercury in Scorpio. Now we know it's not in Sagittarius, Mercury in Scorpio. Go on over to Liam, born on the 4th. Now, he has sun in Capricorn again, but outside of that, number 4 is sun, number 5 is Mercury. And I only say that to look right here. Mercury being so close to the sun will combust in about 25% of the horoscopes. Okay, that's one thing. So what happens is that the sun will draw up all of the power of Mercury to give results. It is like he will evaporate the essence of Mercury. The closer he is, the more intense the evaporation. Liam sucks the life out of Miley, because if we take it based off if we take the fact that we have a sun type of energy in a relationship, one side, and then we have a Mercury type of energy, if we take that and put those two together, the sun is overpowering Mercury. The sun is like washing Mercury's character, is washing it away. There's no way for Mercury to be able to be Mercury, to be the way it wants it to be. You know, with Miley's Mercury being in Scorpio, she may be very intellectual about Scorpio things, whereas the sun may completely, it's like cutting somebody down. Think about it. You could be so excited and be like, oh my God, look what I learned today. And you go to the sun and they're kind of looking at you like, who cares? It is so belittling in some sort of manner. It makes you feel worthless. So that may possibly be a situation that we have here when it pertains to Liam and Miley. From the jump street with Mercury and the sun, it wasn't going to work because the sun is cutting at Mercury. Not just that, I hate to say it, I'm not calling Liam a social climber, but maybe in some sort of aspect, he social climbed on top of Mercury because it's almost like literally, you know, the movie A Star is Born. Let's just say it's like, that's Miley Cyrus's movie. Maybe. Because remember I said maybe some sort of manner, she may have been born under a lucky star. I don't know her. I mean, I haven't looked at her whole entire chart, but I could probably guess that that's what we're looking at. However, it doesn't matter whenever she's in the presence of Liam, or she was. You're getting cut down at every second. It's not good enough. Making you feel like you're worthless. Making it feel like, oh my God, I just want to show you what I learned about this Scorpio type of thing. I don't care. I don't care. It's so rude. And maybe he knew he did it. Maybe he didn't know he did it. But like I said, we have a situation where there's no way in hell she could be herself in this relationship. And she may have tried. He may have tried being himself as well. But it kind of gives him like eye roll, like, ugh, you know, here comes Mercury again. And it maybe got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to cut you down in ways that I can't cut you down in terms of your success because damn, you know, you got that. But I'm going to cut you down and I'm going to eat at your mind, maybe even eat at your soul. You know, I'm not saying that was exactly what happened, but that's an issue. And look, I can say this, maybe I can't say this, because I have a Capricorn sister. Love her to death, but my gosh, she can be annoying. And she could be a buzzkill. So it could be one of those things, especially, you know, and hey, Capricorns are great, but they do have their moments when they can absolutely be a buzzkill whenever you're not possibly going along with what they want to do, or whenever they feel like you're not listening to them, but you are, you're just giving them pushback on what you're saying don't make any sense. They shut down. Okay. So that can be the buzzkill there because of the issue with taking in the criticism, listening to other people's point, you know, and I'm not saying all Capricorns do that. But you know, and then we know Capricorn is that, you know, business is, but that may be that you don't know how to have fun. And that is, you're raining on Mercury's parade because you don't want to have fun, or you don't want to be open to Mercury's way of fun. It has to be your way of fun. And that's not cool. But hey, I'm not sitting up here being like Miley didn't have, you know, her issues, because I already said I feel like she may struggle as well, possibly whenever it pertains to communicating, or it may be one of those things, like I said, she may have that dry humor, or she may not know how to communicate possibly if something's wrong. She may make a joke, and it's like, it's not the time to fucking joke right now. Like I'm hurting right now, but she may not necessarily know how to do it any other way. It's unhealthy. It needs to be corrected, but they both, from what I'm, have their issues. Okay. I'm going to make a composite chart real quick, and then we're going to be out of here. Okay. Oh, there we go. Because I got about maybe like 8 more minutes to get this done. And then, yeah, I was gonna start this over because I screwed up in a way when it pertains to saying Miley's Mercury's in Sagittarius, but it's in Scorpio. But you guys know that's why I say I'm learning. I should have double checked, looked again, but I didn't, and it's fine. Oops, he's January 13th. Is he 97? What is he? 92, 90. Okay. It's kind of they ended their relationship right in the middle of both of their Saturn returns, or maybe it was hers, possibly hers. Where was she? Is it Nashville where she was born? I think so. Or was it Franklin, Tennessee. Why does it say Indiana? She is November 23, 1992. Well, I'm a tad bit older than her, 419. All right, let's see what we got. So we're going to look at a few things, and then we're going to call it. This reading could have been longer, but I should have started a little bit sooner than what I did. But either way, how you are as a couple, Taurus on the ascendant. It looks like maybe late degree, or is it early degree Taurus? Yeah, 3 degrees Taurus, okay? How you are as a couple. So where is their Venus? Their Venus is in Capricorn. Woo, sitting right on top of their North Node in Capricorn, Venus in the 9th, okay? So with the 9th house being foreign territory, we know godlike complex, the guru, okay, higher education, foreign lands. Okay, they could have met. Oh, I think the first house is also how you meet. They could have met foreign territory, foreign land, wherever the hell it could have been. Who knows? Finland, Italy, maybe somewhere that it maybe old. Okay, maybe could have been somewhere where it's like old structures or something like that. Because it's in Capricorn. But even outside of that, there's like a coldness as well. How they are as a couple, maybe in some sort of a manner, there's, like I said, there's a coldness. There's maybe kind of like a demeanor that you have to question. Like, are you guys together or are you not? Even if you are completely together, people have to question if you really are. And it may be one of those things, like I said, it possibly just comes across energetically as almost just like businessy like, or maybe one of them is coming across as businessy like in some sort of regard. Okay. Their Venus is on the 22nd degree, which 22nd degree, I think is Capricorn, to be honest. I think the 22nd degree is Capricorn. So Capricorn, 22 degrees is a degree of excess, extravagance, waste, pleasant nature. Okay. So I hate to say it. Can you really call something a waste of time? Maybe not, because in some sort of way, there's some sort of a lesson here. But the energy here with their Venus being in Capricorn in the 9th house, it seems like this is a waste. Like someone is wasting away their love in this particular connection. Okay. Incontinence. So we have a lack of restraint as well. We might have a cheater. We might have maybe constant cheating here. Okay. And maybe that had a part to play in how they met. Maybe somebody was dealing with someone else. So this may have possibly been a third party situation and it turned into something else. Either way. So yeah. it's like somebody can't control themselves. But it almost comes across where one of them is like something about, it feels like one of them is trying to say, like, you can't help who you love, you can't help who you love. And they're using that as an excuse to go through what they're going through when it pertains to this person. But I wouldn't even be shocked if, I don't know their full story, but I would possibly say cheating. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Tough. So how they are as a couple, and it may have been one of those things where somebody may have had like a whole nother girlfriend in a whole nother country, or a whole nother boyfriend in a whole nother country. You know, that's why it's like, it's very businessy. It may even been that energy where it's just like, you're going to be my wife, or, you're going to be my girlfriend in public. But, rest assured, I do have this person back home, or I have this person in another country that I also would like to date as well. It's like, what? But but whoever accepts that, it's like, but I love them. You can't help who you love. It just comes across like you're using it as an excuse to put up with bullshit. That's the way it comes across to me. Whoever it was. Okay. Now 12th house, that's my house there. We have 12th house. Their 12th house, which is their hidden feelings for one another. Their 12, in my opinion, guys, when I do these charts, I like it. I would prefer it if the 12th house lord, the ruler of the 12th house, is in the first, because when it's in the first house, it's in your face. It's like, look, if you're ugly, I already told you you're ugly. If I don't love you, I already told you I loved you. Is it screwed up? Oh yeah. But at least you don't have to guess how I feel about you, even if it's harsh. But with theirs being in the 6th house of with health, 9 to 5, the employer. Also the 6th house is routine. Okay. And the Mars is what? Debilitated in Libra. Because we know Mars belongs to what? Aries. The across the street neighbor of Aries is Libra. So Mars is at fall in Libra. If one person failed, the other person didn't. For one person, it feels like it was more so about the business. And it almost feels like maybe one of them wanted to really keep things casual. And I don't know why, this moved forward the way it did, but hey. But it does, as a couple, it doesn't scream sincere between the two of them. With the Mars being at fall, and it's conjunct the moon. We know moon is how you process emotions. Moon is how you process, your feelings. But it feels like you're more so angry at the other person majority of the time, instead of trying to find a way to make things better. That's what the way it comes across. And there's a sense of, honestly, this screams codependency. This screams unhealthy attachment issues when it pertains to the two of them. And we know North Node is purpose, Saturn is destiny. Their Mars looks like it's hitting their Neptune and their North Node. We know, North Node in Capricorn. Okay. And this also, I can almost see this as possibly being a connection where one of them blamed the other person for their maybe lack of talent or lack of progress. It's like, if it wasn't for you, I would have been able to do this. It's a blame game. Okay. This does not seem like the type of relationship you want to be in, to be honest. It feels like it's going to tear you up from the inside out, maybe on both ends, to be honest, possibly. Okay. Mars is at 7 degrees Libra, conjunct moon at 6 degrees Libra. So the 7th degree of Libra is, look at that, sudden death, melancholy, sensitive, left devoid of family ties. What I say? You lose yourself in this particular, but this also is a relationship where you're dragging the other person away from their family. Their family sees it. They see the unhealthy attachment. They see possibly the excess. They see, well, maybe, it's just my opinion. It's that maybe they got this submissive thing going on, maybe they had that submissive thing going on, possibly whenever it pertained to sex. Because for some reason, I'm getting kind of like dominatrix vibes, or maybe not even dominatrix. I mean, honestly, it's almost like I literally saw one of them on their knees in like the gear, the gear that I'm talking about. So it's very odd. But I can see maybe one of them wanting the other person to submit in that type of, it's just unhealthy. I just can't say anymore how unhealthy this relationship seems to me. Okay. Sudden death, but in terms of like hidden feelings, it's a close call. And they may have even possibly had a close call when it pertains to actually harming or something like that. What the hell were they thinking? 6 degrees Libra is a degree of falling, weak nature, drawn to destruction by the opposite sex. What'd I tell you? But I already said possibly cheating. Lord almighty Jesus. I guess one more and then we're going to call it. I don't think I want to dissect this chart anymore because it just screams depressing. Their bond. Let's take a look. Their bond is signified by the 8th house. Looks like their 8th house is in the late degree of Scorpio, if I'm correct about this. 8th house, look at that. The 29th degree of Scorpio is very karmic. So this is a karmic relationship of their bond. Didn't I talk about, I said submission? We know Scorpio is sex. Scorpio is the genitals. Scorpio is normally tied to what? Death and transformation. It was meant to transform, I guess, in a way. Their bond, it transform both of them, honestly. But anything 29 degrees is karmic. Okay. Scorpio 29 degrees, powerful, guiding influence. Look at that. Drastic changes, attraction, position of trust. Well, I know you aren't going to like it, but one of them used the other person. That's my opinion. Somebody, in their bond, I like the power. I like the influence that this particular connection, this particular relationship brings. I like that. I like that people are attracted. It almost comes across. If we're going to be honest, it almost comes across for one of them. They wouldn't even really be, the opposite sex wouldn't even really be as attracted to them as they are without this relationship. Their bond, and then we know Mars, Scorpio is Mars. Mars is what? Debilitated. Ain't no bonding. There's really no true bonding. It feels like you're spending a lot of time alone, unless we're talking about sex, and that may possibly be a one-off situation. Maybe somebody turned to submission or doing what I said because you feel like that's the way to draw the other person back to you. It's unhealthy. It is unhealthy. Last thing, which I don't know. Woo. I ain't gonna say terrible, but damn, it's bordering. I'm even surprised that these two got married, to be honest, because why? The length and success of their relation. Oh yeah, no. Intimate or enemies. So opposite of Taurus, which is the ascendant, is Scorpio, right? Oh, they're totally enemies. But I've been saying that. Mars plays a big part in their relationship, and their Mars is debilitated or at fall, excuse me. So it was going to fall eventually. Probably should have fell a lot earlier than what it did, but we're here. So I would say these two are enemies. And it's not real love though. It's lust. It's not real love, but you can confuse the two, especially whenever you're wrapped up in your emotions. Let's be clear. Okay. But we know the moon in Libra wants to go towards balance, but sometimes it's to the detriment of yourself. If you're trying to keep the peace and you're not trying to, address, if you're trying to ignore the elephant in the room because you just don't want to piss them off. You don't want to make them mad. You don't want them to leave. Oh, boy. 1, 2. Where they're challenged as a couple would be seen by their 6th house, which would be, looks like Virgo. Now their Mercury is in fall, right on top of their sun. Where is it? Mercury 20 degrees, Sun 27 degrees. So what we talk about already? What does it say? It is like the sun will evaporate Mercury's essence. The closer he is, more intense the evaporation. Poof. This was going to be the end of you, honestly. It was going to be the end of one of them if they would have continued forward in this particular relationship. Okay, this last thing for real. 1, 2. The length and success of the relationship is seen by the 4th, which would be in Cancer. Moon is in, oh yeah, no. It's not, it was, in terms of, it wasn't going to be healthy long term because it was going to be too much about, I need to dim my light to make theirs look better. It's almost like you're questioning yourself, like, no, don't say that, because they don't like that. They don't like that. Walking on eggshells. But, it's a lesson learned. Let's just say that. I don't think these two should have got married, honestly. I mean, Moon is not hitting the sun. I think, I don't know where they're, Jupiter's in the 4th. They may have maybe somebody, and somebody wanted a family and the other person didn't, but somebody wanted a family to exert more power over the other person. It wasn't because you just truly want a family. You trying to still be in control of some shit, So that's it, people, for this small breakdown when it comes to the composite chart of Miley and Liam. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you later.